What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 6 of the podcast, The Junkyard. Here I have my co-host, Emmanuel Escoto.
What's up, guys?
I'm your current host for today, Nicholas. And today we're going to touch on a little bit of a sensitive topic starting off the podcast. Today we're filming on 9/11, and I just wanted to quickly say that we have a deep appreciation for the people that fight for our lives every day. EMTs, the firefighters, the police officers, especially the people that gave their lives that day. I could never imagine going through such a situation, such a catastrophe, and it'll be a day that lives in the hearts of every American. And I just wanted to say that, my prayers go out to all the families, people that suffered that day. I want you guys to stay strong, because that's what an American is supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be strong for their families. You're supposed to be strong for the generations coming up. And that's one of the main reasons why we shouldn't forget such an event. And basically wanted to just roll off of that topic onto our next thing that we're starting to incorporate. We are starting to incorporate a quote of the day in our podcast. The reason why is because it kind of gets the ball rolling. It helps us just basically talk about the current topics that we're going to talk about now. So
yeah, guys. So basically, this is a new segment of our podcast. We're gonna try to incorporate it pretty much in every single episode that we do. So right over here, I got the quote of the day. It's by O'Neill Cena. So basically, it goes like this: so today's moment becomes memory of tomorrow. Embrace each moment with happiness, joy, and fulfillment. Strive to enjoy your day to the fullest. So that quote, we were scrolling through. We agreed that was probably one of the best ones, one of the most relevant ones for now, because not every day is guaranteed, and you just gotta live life. I wouldn't say YOLO, but YOLO basically.
One of the things that I see off of that quote is that it kind of makes you reflect on your life and how you grew up, the home that you came up in, the area that you came up in, and just like who you are overall. I basically just wanted to come over to the topic of home and basically developing you as a person, because everybody knows at this point that the way that you develop is how you grow up. And I basically wanted to ask Emmanuel, how was your home growing up? It's a pretty broad question, but
so basically, I'll go ahead and bring it to my grandma and the values that she's taught me, growing up and stuff like that. My grandma was born and raised in Honduras. Growing up there is very, very difficult. Her and my dad, they just lived together. They were by the, there was no father in the picture. So my dad would tell me the stories that they had to go through. They would have to sell paletas, which is basically ice cream on a stick. And they would have to go around selling coconuts and different stuff like that, just to make money. My dad came to the United States around the age of 13. My mom came around the age of 4. So she basically grew up with the whole, United States culture, the American culture. She already knew about that. My dad came into the picture a little bit later, and then they started adopting, American cultures. But we still live by Honduran, principles and stuff like that. And to this day, I have my grandma's name tatted on my wrist because she's somebody I look up to a lot. She's basically shown me what it's like to be dedicated. She's very resourceful. She's a very resourceful person. She used to grab, soda cans around the neighborhood to crash and sell. She grabbed easily around 400, 500 cans a day, and she'll sell around 2,000 maybe every week for chump change. But that basically shows you that there's no excuses to making money. A lot of us like to make excuses and say, this is hard, this is that. When you're acting out of necessity, then things change, and she was acting out of necessity, and that's what she's taught me, that in life, look at us, we don't have the best camera footage, but we're doing the most with what we have and stuff like that.
One thing that I realized is that when you're growing up, you do tend to learn a lot from your elders, tend to learn a lot from your parents, of course, because they're raising you. But my grandpa, he basically had to come up like that in Nicaragua too. He wouldn't sell that, but what he'd do is he'd basically buy a bunch of plátanos. He'd buy a bunch of plátanos, a bunch of fruits and stuff like that. He'll go to another country and he'll sell it for more. he was basically one of the early scalpers. You know how PS5s and all that stuff are out? He's an early scalper. So, but yeah, I learned that sometimes in life you have to hustle no matter what the situation is. He was a trucker in the mountains, so you can imagine how dangerous that could be. You know, one day he couldn't even return to his family. Maybe one day he told me one day he ran out of gas in the mountains.
Jesus.
And all he had to eat was like tortilla and salt.
Jesus.
And yeah, he basically told me that, and he was like, you know, I came over to America to give you guys a better life and stuff like that. And I said, how'd you come over, Grandpa? He's like, came over through the river in Mexico. I said, through Mexico? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, how did that go? He goes, it went pretty well, but I almost lost your uncle. I almost lost your uncle in the river. I was like, oh my God, dude. But yeah, that's basically one of the things that, like, you know, when you grow up in a home full of family members, they tell you their stories, they tell you the things that they've been through, and it really grows on you. And you kind of tend to magnetize yourself to those stories and like in situations you've been in. You get me? Like there's been a lot of stories that my uncles told me. There's been a lot of stories that my grandpa's told me that just makes me think before I speak. You get me? Like,
Sure.
And the struggle is like something that that honestly is gift, because without it, we wouldn't really have like hustle. We'd be extremely, how do I put it? Not posh. I'm trying to look for the word. We'd be very braggy. We wouldn't be humbled. We wouldn't be in a position to like grow.
That's true. I agree. So basically, you know, on the topic of, you know, growing up and stuff like that in your home, there comes a point in life when a boy becomes a man, right? We're gonna be talking about the birds and the bees, the pencil and the sharpener.
Pencil and the sharpener.
So basically, Nick, what I wanted to ask you is,
how did the pencil?
if you remember, what age did you lose your virginity, and how did it go?
I lost my boyhood at
And entered manhood.
at I think 18 years old. No, 19. I lost it at 19 years old, and honestly, it felt good, of course, just like every other dude would say. Every man with like fucking testosterone only in their fucking veins, no blood, will tell you, yeah, it feels good. But I mean, that first time was with somebody that was very like, they weren't there, you get me? Like, they weren't there like mentally, they weren't there like
Spiritually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just like
All over the place.
basically all over the place. But I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said that it wasn't good. You get me? Yeah. But yeah, when I lost it, it was basically like at some chick's house. I don't know if I should say more and incriminate myself.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, would you? Let's put it this way: if you could go back in time, would you stop yourself from doing it and wait, or would you say it's fine the way that it went, and it's made me who I am today?
I think that it's gonna be like the second option. I mean, maybe I'd change who it was with on the first place, but the second option, I think it's how we should leave it, because you grow off of these things. You get me? Like, you experience them, and of course you're gonna want more, but at the same time you also kind of learn that you have to pick and choose who it's gonna be with. You get me? Like, it's not just doing something like that, you know, sticking a pencil on a sharpener, and then just not feeling any kind of emotion. You learn things off of these experiences, and you know, I'm glad I learned that to stay away from people like that, to people that don't have that kind of energy with you. You get me? And
you want to be closer to people who are more like in tune with themselves.
Yeah.
And are more compatible with you.
Yeah, somebody that's there with me mentally.
Gotcha.
What about you? How was your experience?
So basically, my story, just to keep it as concise as possible, because it is quite a long story, but basically there was a girl, we'll go ahead and name her Potato Chip.
Potato Chip.
So Potato Chip, if you're watching this, I'm not gonna lie, I had a really, really good time. We were actually like, you know, pretty good friends. Like, we're decent friends now. We don't talk, but you know, we're still friends. And basically, it happened in Orlando. It was with a group of friends, and you know what they say, you know, Disney is the magical place on earth, the most magical place on earth. As corny as it is, some magical things happen.
The hotel was the magical place on Earth that week.
Yeah, bro, the hotel, the Airbnb, all that stuff. Mickey was definitely, you know, moving his little wand and stuff. And you know, it happened in the morning, and one thing led to another. She got cold. I did what a man's supposed to do. I provided warm. And I was like, I was a senior in high school. I was like 17 years old. You know, just a little chump. But the good thing is I wasn't a 2-pump chump. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finish.
My boy, hold on.
Hold on. I didn't get to finish because I was with a group of friends, and they were knocking on the door and stuff and interrupted, you know, the miracle of life, I guess you could put it.
The miracle of life.
But other than that, I would say I had a really good time. We tried something, like try to make, you know, something happen, but that's just life, you know, it is what it is. But other than that, it was a really good time.
I'm not gonna lie, man, like, that experience, I was nervous. I was nervous.
Well, I was nervous too.
Yeah, I was nervous because, like...
But I was more excited than nervous.
I don't know, man. I felt like I was 50-50 because, like, what if, you know, something happens and, you know, I get a baby off of this, you get me?
That's true.
But
that entered my mind, like, as soon as I like finished, I was like,
bro, I was
what
like,
if I'm a dad?
God, I hope I don't have a kid. But yeah, like,
I'm broke. I was working at Hollister.
yeah, basically, I can't feed a kid under the conditions that I was in either. But
I can't even feed myself under the conditions.
but yeah, I mean, going through things like that in life, I feel like they make you and they make you realize the appreciation for things like that.
Yeah.
Man, I thank God I didn't have a kid with crazy.
All right, guys. So basically, there's a lot of new music coming out and stuff like that, and I just wanted to talk about, you know, I'm not really into the whole new generation of music and stuff, but what I will say is, you know, growing up, I listened to a lot of EDM, anything that's like ultra based, EDC, which is Electro Daisy Carnival for those that don't know, Tomorrowland, like all of those things definitely impacted me and what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to be a DJ at one point, but I'm lazy, so I gave up on that. You know, it is what it is. My Overwatch career just took off. Like I averaged 2 viewers a stream and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically my favorite type of music. I love EDM. I enjoy, you know, hip hop or rap and all that stuff, but EDM definitely is a big part of who I am, and basically the music I listen to when I work out and stuff like that. It's a big motivating, you know, type of genre. But what about you, Nick? What's your favorite type of music?
My favorite kind of music has to be a plethora of genres, honestly. Like, my favorite genre, if you could put it on repeat, probably put any song, maybe I might like it. It has to be like hip hop and rap. It has to be hip hop and rap because I remember when I was like a little kid, my uncle would play a lot of Southern rap, play a lot of Ludacris, play Ludacris, Mystical, Missy Elliott. Is Missy Elliott Southern? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna say that she's Southern. I'm just gonna go off of that guess. A lot of like Nelly and stuff like that. And since my uncle played it so much, I was like, man, this is bumping, and I just kind of took it as the truth. You get me? Like, I don't know if it's appropriate for kids to search up this song nowadays, but you know that one Ludacris song, "Move Bitch," right?
I think so.
Move Bitch.
Get out the way.
Get out the way. Yeah. Roll Out. The one from Fast and Furious. I forgot what it's called, but basically those were the songs that I grew up with, and I felt like there were lessons to be learned in rap, just not, you know, like pimps, hoes, drugs, and all that stuff.
Would you say that you prefer old school over new school?
That's a good question. I gotta say that I think I prefer old school, probably.
Old school?
I think I prefer old school rap because, like, they talk about a lot of things that rappers are kind of scared to touch on nowadays.
I feel like they were more also like, they were more true to their word. Like, if they said, yo, like, I kill people, like, like, they killed people, you get me? Like,
yeah, and I mean, one thing that I also liked about rap is that you didn't have to be serious all the time. Like, Ludacris would be saying, you know, I run over people, move bitch, but he also be joking with like a song called Area Codes, where he basically like states that he has a bunch of hoes. Area codes, I got hoes. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's the thing that I like about rap. You know, in one song you could be learning about how somebody goes through the struggles of life, how they go through struggles of drug use, how they go through the struggles of love, and then the next song it could be about like the dumbest shit ever. Like it could be about, I don't know, Eminem will probably come up with something in the future, but he's also one of my favorite artists. He keeps it real on his songs that like are very emotional. People say that Butterfly, I think is one of them. Butterfly, When I'm Gone. Everybody still takes him serious when he raps on that, but when he raps on songs like Just Lose It, like people take him as a clown. Like he can be a serious performer and then a clown. And
yeah, like songs like When I'm Gone, Mockingbird.
Yeah,
like those are the songs that really got me into like Eminem hard. But then there's other songs that are like more like mainstream, and it's like, you're losing me, you know. But it is what it is. So
who's your favorite rapper?
My favorite rapper as of right now, I would have to say probably 21 Savage, and his lyrics aren't the best, but just his flow.
I was kind of surprised you didn't say Don Toliver.
But I don't really characterize him as a rapper. That's the thing.
He's like hip hop.
Yeah, he's more like R&B, pop, like that type of style, you know.
And what do you like about 21?
Basically, like just flow, and like every time he raps, I kind of feel like I can like be a gangster, like a gangster Crip or something like that. Not that I claim, you know, being a Crip or anything like that. But
you got that inspiration in you, basically.
Basically.
But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I think that our favorite kind of music, since we learn so much off of it, like we kind of realize that what they're saying is true. Like there's one song that I like to listen to. It's an old ass song. It's called Cash Rules Everything Around Me by Wu-Tang Clan. And basically in one of the lyrics, the guy basically compared living life to living in a cell. And people can be going through like a plethora of things mentally, and that's why he compared it to living in a cell. Or people can be going through drug use, that's why he compared it to living in a cell. Or just living a gangster's life. You know, you're always on edge, you're always on the edge of your seat, and you know, life is always going to be full of risks.
Oh, for sure. So there's a ton of, you know, new superhero movies coming out, superhero games coming out, and stuff like that. And it popped into my head. What are your thoughts on, you know, superpowers? Which superpower would you like to have, and why?
I think the superpower that I want to have is like visibility, honestly.
And I was honestly
Visibility.
thinking about that as well.
But I'm going to ask you a counter question real quick, and then we can go back to the superpower that you'd want. Who's your favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero of all time? Okay. Can we do 2 or 1?
You do 2.
So one would have to be Dr. Fate, and then
Isn't he the guy with like the golden helmet?
yes,
Okay.
and then the second one is I would have to say the Flash.
The Flash. Why Dr. Fate?
So the reason I choose Dr. Fate, first of all, he's mystical. He has incredible strength. He's basically, if I'm not mistaken, for all you comic book guys, you can go ahead and correct me, he's almost, if not more superior than Superman. They have almost the same amount of strength based on, you know, his mystical powers and stuff like that. And on top of that, Dr. Fate, it's not just one person. It could be anybody. You could be Dr. Fate, I could be Dr. Fate, because
it's putting on the helmet.
yeah, it's the spirit of the helmet. So anybody that puts it on, obviously the younger the host, the stronger the power and stuff like that. Yeah. And then the Flash would be because, honestly, I would have to contribute a big, you know, portion of why I like the Flash so much is due to the show, you know, the CW version of the Flash, the one that everybody finds corny and stuff. I usually watch a lot of Young Justice League and all that stuff, but the CW one brought me into like the Flash a lot. I love the concept of, like, you know, all the time traveling he can do. Like, just the fact that he can time travel
is enough, honestly.
is enough to basically make him like a god. Like,
Basically.
he's almost a god,
Yeah.
you know?
My favorite superhero honestly has to be since we're choosing 2, I'm gonna say Deadpool.
Oh,
Deadpool
definitely.
and the Punisher. And the main reason is because like I love things.
Frank Castle.
Yeah, Frank Castle. I love things that are like, and I know this sounds like kind of crazy, I love things that are like gory movies,
Yeah.
gory just shows in general. Like And in Deadpool, it mixes like two of my favorite things.
I feel like the Punisher is a deadlier version of Daredevil.
Yeah, for sure, because he uses guns and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But that's one of the things that I like about both of them. Deadpool uses guns, and he has a bunch of crude, really just off the wall humor. You get me? Like he'll say anything, and I don't know if you guys have seen the movies, but just check out the movies and you'll see what I'm talking about. I think Ryan Reynolds just plays that part perfectly.
That guy's hilarious, bro.
He is. He's fucking hilarious. And
So a
then-
superpower.
Oh,
Oh, wait, did you choose both already?
yeah. I already said the Punisher.
Got you. So, what superpower would you want, and why?
So I want
Wait,
invisibility.
you did say invisibility. That's right.
Yeah, I want invisibility because I basically just want to like see things. And no, not like sexual things. I'm just saying like
See things.
No. I'm talking about like seeing things that like nobody's supposed to be there. You get me? Like stuff that's like deals going down, so then I can get insider like knowledge, get money, stuff like that. Crimes being committed, so then I could just like intervene. You get me? Basically do superhero stuff too at the same time.
That's true.
But
Would you, if given the ability, would you sacrifice basically your life to living like life as a superhero?
I think I need more superpowers to do that. Like if they said, look, you get invisibility.
I mean, look at the Fantastic Four. The girl, she turned invisible and she was like,
can she also do like force fields and stuff like that though?
I'm pretty sure it comes with the superpower.
Okay, fine. If I get force fields, fine, I'll do it. But I mean, if I was like the Human Torch,
That guy's fire.
he's really fucking cool. But if I was Thing, fuck that shit. I'm basically a pile of rocks just walking around in a human body. But yeah, I mean, why would you want your superpower? What superpower did you choose?
Honestly, I would have to say, let's see. I think I'd want super speed.
Why?
I don't know, man. It's just something. I don't know. I just enjoy the Flash that much that everything that he can do, I would want to do, bro. The fact that you can create time remnants, you can go back in time, you can speed up time. Oh, I think you can speed up time. You can basically change the course of history itself. Like, just the thought of that. Like, we could be doing. Let's say I have super speed, and the end of the world was supposed to happen today. A meteor comes, and I go, let me go back in time. I change a couple things, and then the entire future. Yeah, it could make it worse, definitely, but it could also make it better. Or I can meet new people, or it's just.
I'm gonna ask you a counter question for that then. Who would you want your supervillain to be? Of everybody in DC, Marvel, you can
Who
choose
would I
anybody.
want my
It could be a
supervillain to
crossover.
be? I would
Yeah.
say Joker.
The Joker.
I would say
He is so awesome, honestly.
I wish the Joker was my super villain, just because everything about the Joker and what he stands for, in a way, like
Which Joker are we talking about though? Because there's like the cartoon Joker that'll like basically nuke
I
the
would
city.
the Heath Ledger
The Heat
version.
the one from The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
because some of the things that he says is true. Oh, actually, I would split it between the Heath Ledger version and the Joaquin Phoenix version.
What ideals do you like?
Like the things that I like in the Joaquin Phoenix version is the fact that he sees life basically in the point of view of those who feel like they're at the bottom of society.
Outcast, like misunderstood.
Like an outcast, yeah, basically. And to a degree, like that is how life is. People who are at the bottom, they get stepped on. They're not seen by society, or they're seen by society, but in a joking way. Like what I mean by that is, they'll say things like, "Oh, poor him," but then you don't see them actively trying to find friends that are like at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, then they wouldn't be at the bottom. Everybody would be on the same plane. There wouldn't be, yeah, exactly. Everybody would be, equal. But unfortunately, that's not how life is and stuff like that.
For me, the way that I see it, with that whole issue about the outcast and like agreeing with the ideals of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, I think that in a way, we're all typically like outcasts. You get me? Like we all have our own struggles. We all have like everything, like the things that we go through on the daily. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, I've already talked about my heart problem, but I could say that I'm going through other things. You wouldn't even know it. You get me? Like, I feel like we make ourselves the outcasts. Like we force ourselves not
In a
to
way,
tell people.
That's true, and also like how you perceive yourself plays a major part in how others perceive you, right? Because like
It's true.
if you constantly tell yourself, "Oh, I'm a loser. Why should they listen to me? Because I'm a nobody." that's what they're gonna think of you. They're gonna be like, oh, you are a loser because you think you're a loser, right? Everything's, you know, based on self-respect. So yeah, that's a lot of the reasons why I like the Joaquin Phoenix version. The Heath Ledger version, honestly, I just like the fact that he's very, you know, pro-anarchy. And I'm not saying that I'm pro like rioting and looting, but I am pro going against the system when the system doesn't suit you. Like, if it doesn't benefit me, then there should be no reason, like, you know, communism and stuff like that. I'm gonna go against it. Like, there's no way. It has never worked out. It will never work out. So there's no reason for me to, you know, obey by the rules. Like, if I die in the process, at least I'll die for my freedoms, you know?
Yeah, of course. I honestly think that, like, the idea of being, like, independent politically, being independent in almost all fronts, and, like, just learning step by step about certain things is better than, like, somebody telling you false information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense that, like, you do your own research. It makes sense that you do your own thinking. You can't just let, you know, other things influence you completely. If those things are 110% true, of course, you just got to take the facts. You got to take the statistics how they are.
Because if you don't take it, then you're just acting off of emotion and, you know, feeling.
Yeah, of course.
And facts don't care about your feelings.
And so let's just say one day we do get a Joker in real life. We get a guy that decides, you know what? Fuck everybody. And somehow he gets a hold of a nuke. Somehow. And he's about to nuke the worst part of the world. Miami. No, I'm joking. Shout out to 305. And let's say he's about to do that, right? For sure, 110%. It's gonna happen. There's no avoiding it. Superman lost. Batman lost. Everybody in their mama lost.
It's inevitable. Like, I'm gonna die.
Everybody lost. You have one more day to live. How would you spend it?
Okay. So, if it was guaranteed that it was my last day to live, the first thing I would say is I would thank God for, you know, another day of life, because that's exactly what it is, another day of life. I definitely spend some quality time with my friends, my closest friends. Not this guy, but my closest friends. No, I'm just kidding. My closest friends, I'll say, you know, ask for forgiveness if, you know, hypothetically speaking, they had anything, like if I did something wrong to them, or, you know, if they have any grudges or whatever, just so that we're on good terms when I die. Or you're gonna die too, technically.
Yeah. But
whatever, just to come into, you know, good terms. I'll definitely, you know, hug my mom, hug my dad. If I was rich, am I rich in this situation or not?
Let's say since the world is spiraling out of like anarchy.
Wait, at this point, money is irrelevant.
Yeah,
I just realized that.
Yeah, basically. Just
what I would do is, I would do all the things that I wish I would have done now. I guess I grab like a helicopter or something like that. I'll do some GTA 5-star stuff.
GTA 5.
Grab a helicopter, grab a parachute, go like 20,000 feet in the air and jump off.
What would you do? What would you do with your family in that day?
Honestly, I don't even know. I think I'd probably like, I wouldn't say watch a movie because that's a boring way of spending your day. I would say maybe do some sort of like physical activity, maybe play soccer together one last time. Definitely like have a huge breakfast, like
yes,
the biggest breakfast I've ever had in my entire life.
Yes.
Drink a lot. I would drink a lot. Like, I do all the drugs that exist.
All the drugs that exist.
Okay, all the drugs that I cannot overdose from, like acid, weed, you know, CBD, nicotine, whatever. We'll do everything that just can't kill me.
Yeah, of course.
And then towards the end of the day, once it's time to die, just, I don't know.
Accept it. Just lay down.
Just saying no idea from Don Toliver and call it a day.
Wow. I think for me, like, if I was to spend my last day, like, on Earth, in any situation, I think I'd start off how you start off as well. I mean, I feel like anybody would start off like this, unless there's issues with your family. But I'd start off with my family. You know, I'd do that breakfast thing. I'd go to our favorite breakfast place, and I'm pretty sure it's the same one as yours, just a different building. It's San Salvador, right? Is that your favorite breakfast place?
No, that's not my favorite.
What is it?
Latin
America, of course. No, just Latin
restaurant.
Latin restaurant.
That's my favorite restaurant. That's my favorite breakfast spot.
But I'd go to my favorite breakfast spot with my family. You know,
I think it's called El Salvadoreño.
El Salvadoreño?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called.
Oh,
I think so. I don't know.
Shit, I've been saying it wrong the entire time.
I think.
But yeah, I'd spend time with my family. I joke with my uncle. I joke with my mom. I joke with everybody. I'd ask my grandpa to tell me the stories all over again, even though he's told me the stories a million times. I love him. And then I think I'll split it. I wouldn't spend the entire day with just my family. I'd spend it with my friends as well. Because, you know, at the end of the day, they basically they're basically there for you, like in hard times or in situations like that. I'd pray a lot. I'd get to know things that I normally don't. I do a lot of, I don't know, research on things that I like, and it'll be like an hour at most.
Sorry guys, we just saw a bee. We're not trying to die on set,
So basically, this is already our last day.
yeah, we're talking about it right now. We're bringing it into existence.
Yeah, this is basically our last day. But in all seriousness, like in the beginning of this episode, I had talked about 9/11 and stuff like that, and it kind of puts things into perspective. Like sometimes you don't realize it is your last day. Sometimes before you kiss your sister, your mom, you hug your father one last time, your grandparents, whatever it is. Sometimes you don't realize that it could be your last day, and you kind of just want to give a deep appreciation. And that's why some people say live every day like it's your last, because you don't know when you're going to be texting somebody on your way to work and your brains are on the dash.
Pretty much, man.
But I just wanted to say that when you live every day like it's your last, you basically have that happiness around you. Like, you make everybody else better around you. Once they come to learn that, like, every minute is a gift, every second is a gift, every hour, every friend, every family, every experience that you have, you basically just get together and do things like this podcast with one of your best friends. I could be spending time doing anything else right now, but how do I want to spend it? I want to spend it doing a podcast with my best friend. And it just puts a lot into perspective. But I just wanted to say that we're going to be coming to the conclusion of the podcast, and I want Emmanuel to do me one favor real quick and read the quote of the day one more time, because it was very influential. You know, it means a lot when words can get to you, because that emotion, that feeling that goes through you, you come to think more about these things.
All right, guys. So one more time, in case you didn't hear me clearly, I'll go ahead and say it one more time. The quote of the day is, today's moment becomes memory of tomorrow. Embrace each moment with happiness, joy, and fulfillment. Strive to enjoy your day, to the fullest.
And that's how it should fucking be, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Junkyard with my co-host for today, Emmanuel Escoto, and your boy, Nicholas. I don't have anything in the middle. Fonseca.
Me neither. Guys, just to conclude real quick, go ahead and put in the comments if you guys made it this far. Thank you, first of all. Go ahead and put in the comments, if it was your last day, how would you live your life? Because we'd like to know. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Stay tuned for next podcast next week. Hope you guys have an amazing day, amazing weekend, amazing night whenever you're watching this. And yeah, peace.